but you don't have to spend a lot to get a big return on your investment. And a lot of people are spending way too much, and you're never going to get that back. And a lot of people don't understand that. So just a quick background with me. So who am I? So yeah, 20 years experience in construction. Started framing houses in high school. Wasn't ready to work full time. Went to school for architectural engineering technology. Bought my first house. We started renting that out to students. And then from there, bought a duplex and rented that out. And then here I am today. So licensed carpenter, contractor, supervisor. I helped supervise some of the largest projects here in the Waterloo region, which I'm so proud to be from here in Kitchener-Waterloo, and to say, my wife hates it and the kids hate it when I take a detour, and they go, "Why are we taking this detour?" I'm like, "Oh." Remember that one? And yeah, construction manager. So right now I specialize in construction scheduling. So I work for Malou Blamey Construction, big developer contractor out of Waterloo. So I specialize in keeping our projects up to date. We've got anywhere between 20 and 30 projects usually throughout Southern Ontario, and they can range in value from a couple million to hundreds of millions, which I'm so grateful that I get to work for a company like that and have the ability to see development at the scale that I get to, and then I love being able to share that with you guys. Real estate developer, coach, speaker. So about 2 years ago, just on a whim, I accepted a speaking engagement. I used to be the guy who I hated talking on the phone with people. And I've sat on stages in Toronto and talked in front of 800 people. And I'm glad that I can be here today talking to you guys. Also coach, I've helped people with their first flips. I love helping people out. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And then real estate developer, so we're developing some land right now. So, and then husband and father, which is pretty cool. I remember when my wife came home and had the socks and they were blue, that's what she gave me. I'm like, yes, so I finally got a son. And then I ended up having 2 more, so I got 3 sons. Sorry to my wife that she's got no girl. So strategic renovations, this is very important. So not all renovations are created equal. You can spend $100 million on custom marble and never get that money back. Same thing, you can spend $2,000 on a kitchen from IKEA, and you can add $10,000 to that. I remember my very first house, it was all carpet throughout the house. $2,300, got some floor from Lumber Liquidators. Real estate agent came through and said that was probably about a $10,000 increase to your house because now it's hardwood floor throughout everything. I'll show a picture later. So timeless, durable materials. That's the most important thing, especially if you're planning to possibly sell your house in the future. You're not quite sure. That's a big thing. You want to make sure that the materials are going to hold up. And something that people are going to like, right? So white marble, people love that stuff. Purple, black tile, maybe not so much in the future. And then, again, choose upgrades that people want today, but will also pay for tomorrow. So the timeless kitchens and all that stuff. Because that's how you're going to get your return on investment, not going with today's trend. And then you can also make your property work harder for you. So duplexing out your property, adding an ADU, adding extra bedrooms. That's what we did. We rented out to students our very first house. We had extra bedrooms. So you can make money in lots of different options. So I kind of summarized the top 5 value-add renovations. First one, solid surface flooring. Again, durable. Think about what you're using it as. If it's going to be a tenant place, you want to make sure it's durable. Luxury vinyl plank is really good. In a lot of the apartments that we're building right now, we're making sure we're doing a glue-down vinyl plank. That way you can rip up the pieces easily. But it gives a nice soft feel on your feet still. And like I said, it's super easy to pull up. So if it gets scratched or cut or stained, you can easily just pull up the pieces and replace it. So we say they're easy maintenance. And then higher perceived value, if you use something like an engineered hardwood or a luxury vinyl plank, you pay just a little bit more, but it just gives that extra value that when someone walks through, it just screams luxury. Like I said, $2,300 in engineered hardwood increased that's a $10,000 add-on to my house, right? I could have spent $10,000 on hardwood and got it all refinished, finished on site, and I would have been a break even. So just think about those things. So here's just a couple examples of flooring. So we got porcelain tile, we got hardwood, and then in the basement, that's click vinyl. Just make sure whatever you're doing in your basement that you're using a proper underlayment for it. There's multiple different options that are out there. You can easily get them at Home Depot, Rona, Home Hardware. Ask the experts what's best to use in this situation. Don't just put laminate floor down on top of concrete. It's going to swell and warp, and 6 months later it's going to be complete garbage. So we move on to landscaping and backyards. This is the one thing that most people forget to budget for, or it's the one thing where we always cut the budget from. But when you walk up to a house, and I see this all the time, and I'm sure anyone who's a realtor there as well, you've seen it. You look at the outside of the house, and you're like, oh, 1970s dated brick, and inside it's luxury Toronto condo. Right? And just a little bit of money either to stain the brick, to add some stucco, change that siding out. It's not a lot of money, couple $1,000s. Instead of getting that tile shower, maybe you got to go with the vinyl tub surround. Again, maybe just got to cut back a little bit on some of the finishes. Get a cheaper kitchen, perhaps. Different doors. People can always change doors in the future. And like I said, first impressions matter. And then carrying the outside in, so decks, patios, stuff like that. People want that, especially you saw with the lockdowns and COVID, more people spending time at home. Less people are going out now. They want to entertain at home, so having that extra living space is a great resale for you. So again, two-tiered deck. You can walk out from your kitchen. You can walk out from your lower living room. Different seating options there. It's a pergola structure that we did with a patio. This is just cleaning up the back entrance. So this is a duplex property, so just cleaning up that back entrance, making a little patio for the people that are in the basement, so they have their own area, because then the main house had this deck and also a patio as well. And again, the zone sitting area, you've got the patio area, you've got the deck, and there's a little kids play area there as well. Finished basement, so this is a big one to be able to truly maximize the value of your house. Being able to finish off a space or an unused space and then repurposing it. The flex space, you can take a room. I just did this in my house. We had extra space. It was a toy room for the kids. The kids are now older. Now it's my office, and when my older son gets bigger, it'll be a bedroom for him. So multiple uses for that same space. Future-proof, like I said there, extra bedrooms, bathrooms. So multi-generational living is a big thing. Kids want to stay. If you can't afford a house, then you're going to stay at your home maybe longer. You want some more independence, you can live in the basement, or just future-proof it for duplexes. So adding in those rough-ins while you're there. I've done this on a property before. I'll show you in a sec here, where we put the outlet for the stove there, and then we just put two 15-inch cabinets. If someone wants in the future, you move those two cabinets, stove slides right in there. Left the space for a dishwasher, so all those little extras you can do. And then entertainment value, so bar areas, media rooms, those wow spaces, so when someone walks in, they're like, yeah, I can envision myself hanging out here. And then safety and comfort, so egress windows, adding new windows. The big thing is, so if you're doing a major renovation, think about that. How are you going to use that space in the future? Should you put an egress window in there? And then also check the standards for your area, because the bylaws change. Even from Kitchener to Waterloo, the bylaws change on window well depth and height off the floor and light space. So there's a lot of those little things that you want to make sure that you're following. So this was the kitchen that I said there. So you can see the opening for the dishwasher. Beside that is two 15-inch cabinets, and we had the power there for a stove. We didn't put the stove there because if we had it set up with a stove, then we have to go for a duplex permit, and we weren't going to do that because maybe they wanted to, I didn't want to care about who's using it in the future. It's just there if you want it. I didn't want to spend that extra $10,000, $15,000 to go full duplex, fire ratings, all that stuff, separate upstairs. Save money on this one. But we created a little home theater down there, open up the crawl space. So again, a hangout area for your kids. When they get bigger, they could play video games down there. And then in the laundry room, just added extra storage. So IKEA cabinets, again, a couple $100 in IKEA cabinets, screw them to the wall. So bathroom remodels is a big one as well. I don't know if you got an older house and you ever go in there and the vanities are so low. They used to put the vanities at 30 inches. Then we got smart and put them at 36 inches because your kids can use a stool for a couple years. That was the reason behind it. You wonder why everyone's got bad backs probably, all your parents. So yeah, put your vanities at 36 inches. Kids grow up, same thing, tub showers. A lot of people want tubs for their kids, but maybe you just have one tub and make the other one a nice shower. The different options that are out there. And also think about who the demographic is in the area. If it is a family demographic in the area, so yeah, make sure you have a tub, but maybe if it's luxury condo or luxury rentals that you're doing, maybe the tubs, you don't necessarily need the tub, so kind of do your judgment on that. Extra bathrooms, so again, like I said, adding one in the basement for just future, even if you just put the plumbing there, again, if you're moving some plumbing around, get a plumber in, chip up the floor, a couple $1,000s, it's future proof, so you can sell it that way. User experience, so multi-shower heads, rainfall fixtures, glass doors. People love that stuff when you walk in. Nice, big, bright, open area. Durable design, like we talked about. Tile floors. Don't put laminate in your bathrooms. I've seen this on a bunch of people, just run their wood laminate right in. Vinyl plank's not so bad, but even then, the vinyl plank moves. And then you get floor warping because the toilet's bolted down and you caulk stuff to your tub. And so I always say put tile. That was the one thing where I always say put tile in your bathrooms. And then upgrades as well. So heated floors, mood lighting, vanities. Think about, again, the demographics, who's going to do this. If it's luxury, put in those, pay that little extra $1,000 to put in heated floors. Is nothing when you're doing, you know, $100,000 renovation. And people, heated towel bars, there's all these little things. You can get them off for like Wayfair and Temu and all this stuff now. You know, these discounted, the mirrors with the lights in it, lots of different options that you can do. And they're really affordable nowadays. So here's an option. So this was in a triplex. The tiles were completely falling off the walls because they didn't use proper waterproofing. I think they had like 2 or 3 years before the tiles literally fell right off the wall. It was just crumbling. We came in, waterproofed it all. This was about $4,000 to do that bathroom, and it was done in 6 days back together. So 4 days to tile, and then a day to paint and miscellaneous caulking, and then all the finishes. This is another one. This was a custom slate shower, bathtub. Again, this was like $4,000 or $5,000 for all that stuff. Again, just about a week to do that renovation. This was a duplex property that we had, so it had this little 32-inch corner tub. Now, we had rented this for like 2 years to people. I went in there to take the shower apart, and like I could not move, so I felt so bad that I was giving this to people. I'd never used the shower. And we bought the place and rented out the basement, and never used the shower. So I ripped that apart, and I ended up from that little 32-inch corner, I made a 4-foot by 3-foot custom tile shower in that same space, just a configuration of how they had built these weird bulkheads. Kitchens, we all know about kitchens. They sell everything. Open concept, large islands. People love that. We don't even use our dining room table. Everyone sits at the island. Lighting, think about the lighting. Pot lights, ambient lighting, under cabinet lighting, lots of different options there. Electrical upgrades, if you're doing any renovation, bring the new supply in, 20 amp plugs everywhere, because now we got Actifries and Nespressos and all those things running. You're going to overload the circuit. Stainless steel appliances or built-ins. We all know that. They get the top value. Granite counters, quartz counters. Think about the counters though, and then user first design. So the flow is really important. Think about the counters. If it's a rental, don't put quartz or granite in there, because if those get damaged in any way, guess what happens? You got to pull out a $5,000 countertop and replace it. If you put the $500 laminate in there, it's real easy to unbolt and replace. So this is just talking about, this was a very functional kitchen, clean but dated, from the 70s. We took it out. We took out the load-bearing wall in between, opened it up. So this was an older lady, wanted her kids to be able to sit and help her cook, but she was in this tight little space. So we opened it up and then put the big island there. So that used to be a wall that separated the dining room from the living room. She still had a space to put her dining room table, but now it was opened up. And again, that was all IKEA. That was in total with my labor and everything and new electrical. It was $23,000 for that total job. We did it in 3 weeks. So it doesn't have to cost a lot to make a big difference in a house. This was a galley style kitchen. Structurally, it didn't make any sense to rip that wall and make it open concept. It was going to be too expensive. What we did, where there was a look down to a lower room, we took out the railing that was there, and there's kind of a small table that you could fit there, but we just did seating. And again, more prep areas so your kids can sit there and do homework. You can do lots of baking and cooking. So final thoughts. The right improvement today will unlock tomorrow's return. So like I said, doesn't matter if you're renting out extra rooms or you got family living there, you can save money, you can create cash flow, and you don't have to overspend on it to get there. We don't need deep pockets, like I said. Make the right connections, find discounts on properties. And every property can be a home and a portfolio asset. So, design for what you want to live in, but also think about, make those changes. Maybe you don't, like I said, you can add a pop of color with a feature wall, add some fabrics to couches and stuff like that. But that way it's future-proof for don't get crazy counters and stuff like that. Get something that people are going to want for a lifetime. And the biggest thing is strategic renovations are how homeowners and investors alike build wealth, one ROI-driven project at a time.
Love it.
There you go. Thank you, everyone.